Thank you for calling Blockbuster Video. How may I help you?
Yeah, I was wondering if you had a copy of Team Fortress.
So is that a video game or a movie?
It's actually a video game that should have been based off the Quake 2 engine, but the bastard switched it.
I'd love to help you there, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well, do you have the Laura Croft / Unreal Chick video from the, I think it's the 1998 collection?
Let me check on the computer, sir. What was the name again?
I believe it's Laura Croft, Best of the Buff with the Unreal Chick.
Sir, I'm sorry we don't have that title available.
Sir, are you getting an attitude with me?
No, sir, I'm sorry. We just do not have that title at the moment.
Yeah, well, I didn't want it anyway. Hello out there in Radio Land, this is Captain Immy signing on for my 4th show, and for all of our dyslexic listeners, I'd like to say, okay, and now that we have that out of the way, today's agenda will involve a rant on DivX, my first experience with Powerball, ranting finally on the big blue man himself over at Blues News, by popular request, a rant on Planet Quake. It's not that bad, kiddies, don't worry. Mirabilis is going to get it today. So is id Software in just a little way, thanks to an email I got. I'm going to jump back to Unreal for a little while, and I'm going to get to some random greetings and some random call-outs and shout-outs that the kiddies emailed me with. Today we've got Storm Shadow, sshadow@ecis.com. He's sitting in on this show, and I'm sure he'll have something to say later on. But for right now, let's get it started with an open challenge to Thresh. Well, Thresh, the Quake community sat and they waited. They waited for a response to my mud wrestling challenge. Now, I don't know if your mom is still up for mud wrestling scary there over at the Sugar Shack, but I know I still want to take you on in something, so being that you're not man enough to mud wrestle me, I've got another challenge for you, bud. Well, Thresh, everybody in the Quake community knows you're probably a huge pussy in real life. Taking that into consideration, your next challenge would be me and you, ballroom dancing. I'm thinking me, you, mano a mano, ballroom floor, with some nice classical music behind us. This way you can't camp like you did in the PGL finals, you big limp dick. Thresh, the email's been pouring in, buddy. They want to see something go down between us, and maybe you just haven't caught wind of my show yet, but I'm sure somebody's gotten hold of you. So either hide behind your Microsoft mouse, or you can suck my left nut. Well, I was planning on ranting about DivX right now, but being that Storm has to head on back to his little cavern in a little bit, I'm going to let him give you guys the lowdown on Mirabilis or Mirabilis. I don't give a shit. The point is that their servers suck lately, since my little red and green flower likes to spin around for hours on end like it's doing right now. So without further ado, Storm's first appearance on Immy's little pointless audio show. Here you go.
So you know I'm all psyched about going home right now, getting ready to have some cyber sex, and I'm trying to connect to ICQ, and it's like, it's just not connecting, and I want it, and it's not connecting. Sorry, I have no life. Shoot me.
Remember, if you didn't like that rant on ICQ at all, his email address is sshadow@ecis.com, and if you did like it, hey, I'll take the credit for it. I'd like to make a quick comment, if I can, before I start tearing people's reputations to shreds. I'd just like to point out that the only thing that really drives me to do this show is the email that I receive from the listeners. And lately it hasn't been coming in like it was the first few shows. And maybe I should have been expecting that, but it really takes a toll on the kind of stuff I have to say, because my shows are basically based off what the listeners say. And now that we're done with that nice little droll piece of commentary, let's get on with the ranting. Yeah, target number 1 would have to be DivX. That's DIVX. It also stands for Extremely Stupid New Media. Basically, take your favorite DVD show and start charging yourself for every time you watch it. That's the principle behind DivX. It also means that good big brother there at DivX gets to monitor every show you watch, when they watch it, and they get to bill your credit card for it, kiddies. That's right. DivX sucks. That's my take on it. And if you don't believe me, you can read the DivX FAQ. If you don't know where to find it, just go to any of your favorite Quake sites, of course, aside from mine, and I'm sure they'll have the no DivX sticker. The only reason mine doesn't have it yet is simply because my website sucks. Oh, okay. Yeah, speaking of other Quake websites, let me jump to good old Big Blue over at Blues News. Now, this isn't a cut on him as a person. This isn't even a cut on the way he runs his website. It's the way he handles the news that comes in. So maybe that is a cut on the website, but I don't know. I think the website itself looks nice. The point is, I emailed good old Big Blue about cheating in Quake 2, and this was right before, actually. I emailed Quake2.com about it. And instead of just getting something posted or a strict no, he argues with me, replies to it, basically saying that he doesn't think that cheating's out there and that a lot of times good players get accused of it. And I replied to him simply stating that, I didn't have any hard proof, and he also made a comment about that. But it's out there, and I think he should mention it so that we can start a discussion on it. Big Blue didn't mention it, of course. He just got a reply saying he didn't want to start something over one little rumor. Yet when Quake2.com did, look what happened. Now everybody knows about the Z-bot, and I think this is a good thing that people know about it, because now we can start, filtering out these kind of servers that these people play on, and we can start, narrowing down how the cheats work and how to get rid of them. And if it weren't for sites like Quake2.com that do that, we wouldn't be able to eliminate anything. So the joke's on you, Blue, and as far as Quake2.com goes, thanks a lot, boys. That's the last time I do my intro at midnight. Sorry, guys.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me around the lake tonight.
Oh, shit. You're running out of CDs when you start playing Toadie's music, huh? Anyway. Let's get on to my Powerball experience. And, by the way, I'm sorry that the whole first half of the show was so boring, but, it was really late at the night when I did most of it, so that's what happened. Anyway, Powerball. It's available at www.planetquake.com/Powerball. It's also their mod of the week, so you can get there by their front page. It seems like a really neat mod. I actually had a fun time playing it the short time I did. The only thing I have to say about it is the level that I was on. It was probably one of the neatest levels I've ever seen, except they had every single respawn point for each side. Identical sides of the base. Well, they had a row of the little respawn points. So it was more than tempting to just sit there with a railgun and the second someone respawn pop, because they're gonna pop up in that row. So being that I had like a 0 ping, I could just sit there and pick them off. And until finally someone said something, and then I just left. But that's the only thing I had bad about that. So Powerball, Captain Immy gives it a thumbs up. It seems like a pretty neat mod, although I think there's only one server out there for it right now. But give it a try. You probably won't be disappointed. Now I was planning to do a rant on Planet Quake, but I'm going back over the email that they sent me about hosting, and they're really not that bad. I mean, Planet Quake's probably one of my favorite websites out there right now. And it looks like they were just trying to help me. So I'm just going to let this little rant slide for now. The only reason I had a problem with it was because they have this strict stay loyal to Planet Quake policy, which means no mirrors. And as far as I'm concerned, a mirror is just a way for me to get my show out there to even more people. And so I encourage mirror sites. Okay, just got an email from Rich1843 at AOL.com. He says, quote, "Your show kicks ass, you are God." Well, okay, thank you, Rich. But then he goes on to say, "I'm going to name my firstborn son after you." All right, this guy's a little sketchy. Then he says, "I want you to get my wife pregnant." All righty. And please make fun of me on your awesome show. I really suck. I'm on AOL. And then he also has the address of Raditz, that's RADDITZ2 at AOL.com. Rich?
Shut up, you fuck.
Okay, turning back to the mailbag, I got a good one from kid@snowcrash.org. And now, basically what he's saying is that I was a hypocrite for saying that Unreal rushed their engine out the door when id Software did the same exact thing with Quake 2. And I realized that they did, yet I think Quake 2 is a much better game than Unreal. We won't even go into why right now because I don't feel like arguing about it. But he does bring up the point by saying they rushed their game out the door so they could make the Christmas season and bring in a little extra cash. Then they left out many of the features they said Quake 2 would have out of the box, and Quake 2 has been patched 10 times in 3 months. You know, he's got a good point there. But then he goes on to say, "I think your statement on frame rates in Unreal is kind of far-fetched, as I get smoother frame rates out of Unreal than I do Quake 2. I don't know what that's supposed to mean because I don't know anybody out there that gets better frame rates than Unreal. So if that's true, you know, you got to let me know what kind of hardware you're using. Finally, he brings up that the artificial intelligence in single player is much better in Unreal than it is in Quake 2. Okay, this really pissed me off. The artificial intelligence on Unreal. Okay, you know, you start playing the first few levels, and it seems like the AI is great. It's like they dodge rockets, but then again, you pop them when they're coming out of a roll, and it's like, oh shit, there's a rocket in my ass. You know, so the monsters are cool then. But when you start getting to the further levels, and these monsters are jumping off walls and going behind you, and you sit there, you can waste like 5 rockets down a really small quarter, yet somehow he manages to duck right out of the way of every single one of them. I don't think myself to be a bad Unreal player, let alone a bad Quake player. But sometimes I think the artificial intelligence in Unreal gets a little too unreal, and it sucks. Okay, moving right along, we have, I want to plug a website that I used to go to a lot, and then I dropped out, you know, stopped doing the clicks, and now I came back to, and I'm really happy with what they did. It's jokewallpaper.com. This site basically does parodies of famous personalities, blah, blah, blah. It's just funny. And the reason I like it even more is because if you go there now, in their newest section, they have a nice little image about Hanson, and I think it's probably one of the best images I've seen out there in a long time. So jokewallpaper.com, give that one a visit. And I also want to mention Jailbreak. The mod was fixed. I guess they found out about the cheat, of course, and they fixed it. And so that's what I just want to say. This is the same stuff that Team Fortress Software should have been doing. They should have been on the ball about their program and been fixing the cheats, but of course they didn't. So once again to Team Fortress Software.
Oh, fuck it.
So far it seems this is my worst show yet, kiddies, and I'm sorry, but I had a lot of stuff to say, and I wanted to get it off my chest, so there's not a lot of time for my slapstick sort of comedy in between. Anyway, I want to give a quick rant on Imposter Immortals. I've gotten tons of emails saying, are you the Immortal from PGL? Are you the Immortal from 10? Are you the Immortal from blah, blah, blah? In fact, one idiot faggot even asked me if I was the Immortal from M-Player. Hello! M-Player sucks. We've already established that. So no, I'm none of those. I'm just the Immortal you see hanging out on Team Fortress servers, on now Powerball servers, Rocket Arena, you name it. Especially just plain old Quake 2 deathmatch servers. That's where you'll find me. I also wanted to plug a friend's website that hopefully is coming on soon. It's going to be just take off the /real from my website URL and replace it with /hell. and it's going to be sound bites from hell. And what he's hoping to do is take all the all the WAV files and all the MP3